Welcome to the Defense and Aerospace Report. I'm Vago Muradian here at the United States Institute of Peace in Washington, D.C., where we're covering the European Union's 6th Annual Common Security and Defense Policy Symposium. And we have with us Margus Tsahkna, who is the Defense Minister for the Republic of Estonia. Sir, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for asking.
1.3 million people in Estonia. Your neighbor next to you is 144 million people. You're the 151st largest nation. They're the 9th largest nation. Obviously, Russia looms large in Estonian security thinking. As you look at the security challenges facing your country, what are the top challenges from your perspective?
The question was wrongly put because, of course, Estonia has 1.3 million, but we are the full members of NATO, we are the full members of EU, and we're talking about how to protect the NATO and EU eastern border. NATO decided last year in Warsaw that they're sending troops to Baltic region and Poland. We see now 19 different nations with their combat troops in Baltic region ready to fight. So we are not alone. And the main idea in our society as well, to learn from the history that we will never be alone again as we were in 1940. So this is the common understanding, and as you see me as well, I'm pretty self-confident that we are not worried about this. But of course, Russia is a threat. We see their readiness, their investments to their military. But I think the deterrence from the NATO side, this unity what we have, this is very clear message after the Ukraine war that Russia had. So I think that the message has passed to Kremlin very clearly.
Is there any concern? There are those who look at what President Trump said or didn't say about Article 5 at the commemoration of the 9/11 memorial, the Article 5 memorial in the new NATO headquarters where you visited. You became defense minister late last year. From your perspective, did that cause any concern in Estonia as it has elsewhere in the alliance?
I can say, as a practical person and on the practical level as well, that we have had and we are having very good cooperation with the United States, very high delegations, also very good meetings with Secretary Mattis and other high politicians. What I noticed during Trump's speech in Brussels was that he called Russia by name first time in the speech. It was pretty clear message, as well as Article 5 by their idea in 9/11 when the Article 5 was first time in real life. So we are not worried about this, and we're working hard. And I'm having very good meetings today as well, and tomorrow here in Washington, D.C. And this message as well that there is a budget negotiations to put $1.4 billion extra to European Deterrence initiative. So these are the messages I'm getting, and I'm pretty self-confident.
Let me ask you about defense spending. Estonia has been turning up defense spending GDP-wise right there at the top in terms of what other nations in Europe are doing. What are your priorities as you're investing your limited resources in your national security? What are your priorities?
Estonia is investing 2.2% GDP per year to defense, and of course we have our independent capabilities to develop and also working together with NATO troops, because we welcomed the troops from Britain and France this year. So we know our topics, our goals, what to reach, but this is like the common thing together as a part of the NATO. So land troops on the ground, of course, air defense, everything like this. And of course, cyber defense is one topic what we are dealing with.
Very few nations have faced the kind of threat as you did on cyber, which was devastating several years ago. What are the key lessons learned that you're sharing with the rest of the alliance in terms of the mindset to have for sound cyber defenses that stretch from the defense side of the equation straight through society to the commercial side?
Yeah, 2007 we were under the Russian cyber attack. And the main message is that there is no such a thing as a military cyber defense or the civil cyber defense. You have to collect all this together as all your knowledge in the society. And the cyber is developing very quickly, so we must have the common understanding and all the resources working together.
Let me take you to Article 5. We're going to be discussing here a poll that Pew put together that looks at European approaches to national security. And a remarkable number of Europeans don't feel that they should go to war for another nation. And I understand that from your standpoint, Article 5 is something core. You have confidence in it. The European Reassurance Initiative is there. But does it concern you at all to see that some nations in Europe are not interested in the spirit of Article 5? Is that of concern to you?
I don't see any nation who are the member of NATO who is not following the main idea what NATO has about Article 5. So I don't know what you're asking about. Sorry.
You mentioned that, in some sense, in the panel discussion you had with your Lithuanian counterpart, the whole discussion was whether or not the war has already actually started, that you're in an early phase of the back and forth. You had FSB troops that entered Estonian territory, abducted an Estonian intelligence officer. He was held in Moscow. You had a prisoner exchange to retrieve him from there. Russia has been very aggressive with Lithuania, has also been aggressive with Latvia. Certainly not comfortable with the idea that the Baltics are no longer part of the Russian Federation. From your standpoint, is this an ongoing conflict? And what are the cores, as an Estonian who knows history, knows Russian history, what are the cores to deterrence from your standpoint?
The main thing what actually Russia wants to test is our unity. This is actually all these different actions, what's going on to attack our societies, our democratical and decision-making processes, or even the cyber attacks. This is about testing the unity. The main message as well is that if we give the wrong reaction, that we are not anymore united or something, then the Putin may do the miscalculation, and then maybe the conflict is coming. But I see a very good development during the last 1 year at least to send very clear messages, and this unity is there, and that's it. But of course, testing every day, fake news, cyber attacks, everything is going on anyway, so we have to deal with that every day.
And one last question in terms of defense technological cooperation. What are the things you'd like to see from your allies, the United States, your EU allies, your NATO allies?
What we see now, the military ways, is of course we have to develop the air defense systems, we have to develop the maritime cooperation to back up our troops, NATO troops, what are the 19 different nations. We have a very good cooperation on the cyber defense. This is one thing we can offer as well, because we are pretty well developed IT country and having these kind of experiences. So these are the main things. And of course the Stratcom, the communication, it's very crucial, and to have this kind of interviews is one step of that.
We're against fake news, and we're all about getting the right message out. What is the key to fighting disinformation from your standpoint?
Educate people, sharing objective information, these are the keys.
Estonian Defense Minister Margus Tsahkna. Sir, thanks very much for joining us, and you're welcome to come on anytime to combat disinformation that may be out there.
Thank you very much, and let's work together.